Bob here, Chopper Bob Customs. Thanks for watching the videos. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so now. Hit that subscribe button. Also set the notification bell so you know when new videos are coming out. As I'm doing this video right here, I know I've got a backlog of videos that I've got to edit and get put out here on my channel. So it's good to have that notification bell so you know when I finally get around to doing my job. Anyway, hit that like button. I got somebody that's going out and just disliking my videos and is running my numbers down. So if you like what you see, even if you don't like what you see, go ahead and hit that like button so that my percentages at least don't look horrible. Anyway, and then if you got any comments, questions, please be sure and ask. Leave a comment. I like hearing from you guys. I like knowing what you're thinking. I've got people telling me about the 56 Chevy that they had back in the day. Great stuff. It's good to have a community of people that like cars. So at any rate, and other stuff, because who knows what I'm going to be doing next. But at any rate, today is the big day where I pull this bullet out of the car. I'm not going to put the other one in right away because I want to be able to get in there and do the master cylinder work and the steering box work. I've also, I don't know if you can see it back there on the windshield, I've started a list of things that I've got to get here before I can proceed on certain parts of the project. Things like flex plate bolts and the bolts that hold the steering box to the engine, to the frame rather. So I've got those things going on. I need a converter for the transmission. So anyway, I've got a lot going on, but today, what I've done since the last video, of course, I did pull out the transmission and the owner took it back home. And I've gone ahead and disconnected all the electrical wiring from the starter. You gotta remember all these things. Really, the only thing right now that's holding this engine in, and it's not really holding it in, there's 6 bolts. Hold on a second. I gotta take care of something with the motor. Hang on. Sorry about that. They were delivering a double-wide mobile home. I'm assuming it's at the other lake. And every time they come up my street with one of those, they take out my cable line. And so I wanted to be out there, 1, to yell at them to stop if I saw them snag it, and 2, to go in and call the cable company when they did. But this time, apparently, they had known to knock down all of the wooden battings that stick up above the roof. That's what usually catches it. I didn't see any on any of these, and they managed to get through without catching it. So I still got cable, so I can still post my videos. Anyway, so what I was saying was that there's the 6 cap screws, 2 through the front motor mounts, 4 through the back motor mounts. They don't have nuts on them, so once I get the tension off of them, they should just slide right out. And then the Z-bar. And so what I usually do on the Z-bar, I could get in there and try and wrestle it out with the engine in there, but usually it's just easier to raise the engine up and then kick it over to the passenger side just a little bit to get the ball to pop out of the Z-bar, and then you can pull the engine on out. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and start taking it out. I hope. See how it goes. affectionately refer to as the Widder Maker. I bought this engine stand from my friend Ray Tupper, and it's been almost 50 years ago. And I learned a lot of things from Ray. And one of the most important things I learned from Ray is that not all the guys that died in Vietnam died in Vietnam. The ones that came back were pretty wounded, a lot of them. Not necessarily physically. A lot of them were wounded physically, but I think a lot more were wounded mentally. And I miss Ray. But if you have a Vietnam vet in your life, love them. Oh. Now, on a lighter note, the reason I call it the Widder Maker is when I was putting together my station wagon, my 396 drag cart, I used this engine stand to build the motor. And I was out in the shop, I think I was torquing the rod bolts. And it has no locking mechanism. It has no thing to stop the engine from sliding out. I mean, and so I was torquing the rod bolts, and it was top heavy, and it got away from me and started to spin. Well, when it spun, I tried to grab it to stop it from spinning, and when I did that, it rolled over on two wheels, because it's only a three-wheel deal like this. Rolled over on two wheels and pinned me between the 396 and the station wagon. And I was alone out in the shop, and here I had I think it had the heads on it, completely assembled 396, pinning me up against the station wagon, and I was alone. And so, but I did manage to get it back up on the wheels. I think I was shaking a little bit when I got done. But I don't use it a whole lot, but I need to store this engine, and I need to store it in such a way that I can roll it around with me not rolling it over, with it in the upright position. It is pretty stable, but you have to treat it with respect. But so, ladies and gentlemen, the Widder Maker. Truth of the matter is, I should probably just get rid of the Widder Maker, but I'm too cheap to do it. Okay, so with that, need to start working on the engine compartment, but basically have it out of the car and on the Widder Maker. Okay, so I want to have some room to work. That's why I'm not putting the engine back in right away. The things I've got to do with the engine out are remove the master cylinder and booster, the steering box and the steering column, the center link, the idler arm, and get those put back in here. I'm also debating as to whether I want to start hanging the control modules on this. Some of them go under the dash, some of them will go out here. I think we're putting an MSD box on this car. So there's some things that need to be done out here in the engine compartment before I put the new engine and transmission back in it. So, but the first thing I want to do is get the master cylinder and booster out of here. I've already gone ahead and and undid the rod underneath the dash that hooks up to the brake pedal, and I saw something that I wasn't too particularly glad to see, and that's the fact that it looks like when someone did it, and this is the correct way to do it, they changed the pedal ratio for the power booster, and when they did that, they did a lot of welding. And I think I'm going to have to take the pedal out of the car in order to clean it up for the non-boosted master cylinder. Okay, with that, I think it's time to break for lunch. I'll be back. Okay, so what I've been doing is I've been installing the side motor mounts on this car, and I tell you, I'm not really too thrilled with these Transdapt side mounts. First thing is they set the engine down about an inch lower than the stock mounts did, which I thought was rather strange, particularly as low as this car sits in the front. I'm concerned about how low the headers are going to hang and all of that. The other thing is I've been trying every which way that I can think of. One, to get them to fit the frame a little bit better than they came out of the box. They were overbent. They were greater than a 90-degree bend on the top flange, and the flange on the car is actually less than a 90-degree bend. So I had to straighten them out a little bit to try and get them so that the bolt would be level or close to level. And then this side over here is about, well, it started out about a ½ inch lower than the other side, and I've already gone ahead to alleviate the height problem. I've gone ahead and put in some 3/8 spacers, and so I didn't want to put in a spacer that big, so I've been working on tweaking this one. I've measured it every way from Sunday. It's probably closer now than the factory was back in '57, but I would sure like it to be a little bit closer to being perfect. But right now I just cannot get it to go any closer than it is. It's somewhere between an 1/8 and a 1/4 lower than the driver's side. But I've been measuring to make sure that I've got it in the right location using the stock holes, both on the rear and on the front. Listen, if you've had experience with the Transdapt side mount kit and you've had the same kind of problems, go ahead and post a comment. Let me know that you've had problems with them too, and let me know how you worked on fixing it. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you just chucked them in the trash and got somebody else's. Or maybe it's the fact that this car is just a little bit crooked. I mean, it is 67 years old, and a lot can happen in 67 years. Just normal wear and tear, bending of the frame, or it could have been in an accident. I don't know. Okay, so I noticed something on my way out of the engine compartment to hook the upper control arm back up. If you look real close at this side of the cross member, the driver's side, the left side, you'll notice there's no hammer marks on the cross member, and this weld right here, the one that holds the bumper bracket basically to the cross member, is sort of minimalist. Minimalist. Anyway, it may actually have some undercut, but it's been on there for 67 years, so it's held up. Just because it's working doesn't make it right, though. But at any rate, but on the other side, when I looked at it coming out of the engine compartment, one, I see hammer or some other kind of tooling marks, and the weld on that bracket is huge. And I'm thinking that this car probably had been wrecked mildly, and they did some frame straightening back in the day, who knows when. But that could be the reason why I was having trouble getting this frame mount lined up correctly. So leave comments. Let me know what you think. Now, let me finish this video up and we'll be out of here. But at any rate, I've got it to the point right now where, like I said, it's about 3/8 of an inch up high from where it was, which should put it about 5/8 of an inch lower than stock on the engine. And who knows, when I go to put the engine and transmission in this, I might have to tear all this out and start over. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and drill the holes. And if you might notice that the A-frame is out of the car, the upper control arm. I had to do that in order to get to this top rear bolt. It's right underneath the pivot point of the A-frame. There's no way to drill it. I guess you could get an open-end wrench on it. You might be able to get a box-end wrench on it, but in order to drill the hole, you have to have the A-frame out of there. I wish I'd have thought about that before I installed all the front suspension. I'd have done this first, but hindsight's 20/20. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started drilling holes, and like I said, if you got any comments on this, please be sure and let me know, because I'm a little bit discouraged today.
Okay, so let me take a quick measurement here. For a while there I thought I picked up something, but then I think I lost it all. I think I'm right back where I started, which again is probably close enough, but I'm not thrilled with it. That's good. That's good enough. About 1/8 of an inch off. So I'm 1/8 inch low on this side. I should be about 3/8 of an inch higher than I was on both sides. Maybe a little bit more on this side because I did do some tweaking to get it up to that point. And let's see. Yeah, and like I said, who knows what's going to happen when I put the engine back in here. At any rate, with that, I think I'm probably going to put this one in the can and do the editing on it. So, thanks again for watching. Set that notification bell because I've got a lot more work to do on this 57. Off camera, I'm going to put the A-frame back on. If you've been watching my videos, I'm pretty sure you've got a video where I put the A-frames in it the first time. So there's no sense watching it twice. No sense doing it twice. But with that, Chopper Bob out.